Hello, everybody. I am Sandra Lee, Human Design Specialist and Biofield Tuning Practitioner. And I have a new guest for you today for the Tuning Up to Thrive conversations. This is my friend, Bradford Tilden. And he does something called Universal White Time Healing and Universal White Time Gemstone Healing. Before meeting Bradford, I had never heard of this modality, but very quickly, I have come to love it because I have been doing sessions with Bradford, receiving these gemstone and universal lifetime healing, and I have been doing energy work myself for over 30 years. And I have a lot of experience with these kinds of techniques. In my experience, this makes a bigger difference. Like I notice permanent changes in my own energy field. And because of that, I decided to bring Bradford here to Canada where I live to teach some classes. But now I'm going to have you talk to Bradford. Bradford, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to be doing this?
Sure. Well, first off, thank you, Sandra, for having me. I just love our energy, and my challenge is to stay grounded because I get so excited when I'm working with you. It's already happened. And so I, too, had never heard of universal white time. And I was reflecting earlier today how really the gemstones, initially it was an amethyst point. It's actually over behind me. That it just got my attention, and I started working with it intuitively, and it started opening me up psychically and spiritually, and it helped me to make the decision to quit my day job and put my full trust in the universe. And as a self-employed massage therapist at the time, and I'm also a music composer, so I was doing the whole open mic, circuit, and I was getting good response and all that stuff. And then I was guided to a sound healing school, and then I was guided to the white time gemstone healing. And I was pretty directionless. I strategically went to Amherst College because they had no core curriculum. I was bouncing around majors. I didn't know what to do with my life. And all I knew is that music was my passion, so I majored in music. And so in a large way, I was not really just a seeker. I was like a drifter or even a floater. And I was just looking for I was looking, but I didn't know what. But when I found Universal White Time Gemstone Healing, I knew that's exactly what I was looking for. In fact, I had dreamed an extremely vivid dream of my first encounter with my future teacher that I actually have in a journal. And this was divine guidance. So how I got into it was, as I've come to understand, it's one of those items on your to-do list as you're crafting your experience for your for your incarnation, right? I pre-planned. I work with this knowledge on higher planes, in past lives, my higher self, as a star seed, and it was all about me having to make the right decisions and following the right intuitive pulls in order to connect in this lifetime with this modality. Because there was at the time only one teacher in the United States, and I happened to be guided to her doorstep for a different reason. Now, these things don't happen by coincidence. So I know that my situation is very atypical because it was predestined. I have no doubt about that. And so now my job is to be visible, to educate people about the existence of this modality and what it can do for you personally, professionally, and ultimately for the collective and for the earth. And it's a really, really wonderful. So that's pretty much how I came into it.
So tell us a little bit about how this is different from other types of healing work.
Yes. Sorry, I'm going to get alerts on my computer for some reason. So I forgot who said it, but there's a quote that says the solution to a problem is is not found at the level of the problem. The solution of the problem is found at a higher level. And for all intents and purposes, humanity is making great strides individually and collectively to move our needle of evolution forward, to address all of these universal problems and challenges, war, famine, all this stuff. We don't have to go into it. You know what's going out there. And there is a very real group of higher beings that have a vested interest in us as a species. And in a sense, they have been tending us and watching over us and guiding and protecting us throughout the ages. And they recognize that we are in now a critical stage where we can ride the waves of ascension and propel ourselves into a higher dimension, individually and collectively, called the New Earth. Some believe that it's actually a new planet where we will be brought to, where we can just live at a higher level of awareness. And so these particular beings decided it was a good idea to customize the healing modality that they know that is used and known throughout the universe, throughout the known universe, this modality of energy healing and the stone healing. Gemstone healing and crystal healing is the most ancient healing art in the universe. And most of these beings that have basically tailor-made this healing education for us, these are those same beings that have been working with stones and energy for millennia. And so it's an extremely special and rare and exciting opportunity to work with energies that higher beings, that extraterrestrials, that light beings, that angels know and use for their own healing purposes. And that is being brought down to earth now. And many people haven't heard of it because it wasn't allowed to be taught on the earth until humanity reached a certain level of responsibility, of awareness and vibration. And that time happened to be 1993, when the main contactee of these higher beings was given permission to start teaching it. And she lives in Sweden. And so it's been growing, the community has been growing steadily, first through Europe and then through the United States. And it's a global phenomenon now. It's a global community and a network of teachers and practitioners. And there's so much knowledge to be had in all of the levels.
So what I hear you saying is that part of the reason why I notice more results with universal lifetime healing and gemstone healing is because this is coming from off earth. And this is coming from people with experience in these things who are providing this information to us through this universal lifetime work.
Yeah. We have, when you take a gemstone healing class, for example, you're actually assigned 3 gemstone healing masters. And these can be light beings, they can be angels, they could be ascended masters, whatever the case may be. They're assigned to you, almost like an advisory panel for a thesis or something. But you work with them, and they work with you closely through your intuition, your meditation, and your communication to just be with you and to enhance your life through using crystals and gemstones as tools and resources and allies to create higher fields of vibrant, coherent energy within yourself and within others to stay in a balanced, higher state of vibration, and to recognize the discord or the disharmony or the distortions and know how to use them and handle them using the natural and unlimited potential of crystals, for example. So these are, and what's interesting is the way that the crystals are working in combination with one another. That is really where it's very proprietary in a sense of this knowledge of how to select specific crystals, place them at specific energy centers to create a resultant specific frequency for something extremely specific. And some of these things can be to heal the kidneys. They can be to treat diabetes. They can do, recognize physical ailments, but also balancing the chakras, opening the chakras, connecting with your higher self. We get more and more esoteric and metaphysical. And ultimately, in the level 4 class, you can start to you connect with consciousnesses of the universe, like the great central sun, or like several different types of light beings, or angels, or extraterrestrials. These vibrations that are instilled in your body at the subatomic level through receiving these layouts. This is the same vibration as the central sun, for example. So imagine I'm walking around and I'm vibrating. Part of my signature vibration is the same as the central sun of the universe. Imagine how powerful that is. It's incredible. It really is. So this is energy that is not of the earth, but that is now coming to the earth through the teachers and through the practitioners. And people are recognizing it as something special, especially people who might be star seeds, or who, you know, they haven't really incarnated on the earth that much, and a lot of their soul is sort of, you know, more cosmic or extraterrestrial in origin. It nourishes that level of your existence, because it's like almost like a postcard from home. It's like, oh, this is the energy from where I come from. This is familiar to me because it reminds me of home. So instead of looking up at the stars longing, I've become proud that I'm here, and proud that I'm a conduit of this energy to help other people to fill themselves with energy that they might, you know, not have known. That I'm sorry, just the I just, you know, just how, like, there's so many people who are addicted to substances because they're looking for an escape, because they don't feel that they belong here. There's an emptiness inside of them, and I fully believe that emptiness can be filled with these higher cosmic energies. It certainly did for me. This modality, it gave me direction, but it also saved my life on more than one occasion. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the energies and the workings of white time. I know that for a fact. So it's very, very beautiful to work with.
So I have a practical question. So if I'm using crystals and I look it up in a book, or I look it up online, and I say, you know, these crystals have these particular qualities and energies, how is what I'm going to learn with you, Bradford, next week going to be different? And do I use both of these sets of energies? Are they separate? Tell me a little bit about that logistically.
Sure thing. The philosophy of white time gemstone healing is very much focused on the known frequency of a particular crystal. Let's just start, like, you were holding, I think you were holding an aqua quartz. Was that an aqua quartz sphere? Whatever it was.
Aqua rose.
Aqua rose. I just thought a couple of points of that. So let's focus on the rose quartz, and we'll talk. The aqua is a bit different, but so the rose quartz, all the rose quartz on the planet has the same frequency, right? All the oranges are an orange, all the trees are the trees, right? We can get into specifics, saying a rose quartz from Madagascar has a slightly different vibration than a rose quartz from China, but for all intents and purposes, rose quartz has a frequency that is known by the higher beings, and they know how the frequency interacts with the human bioenergetic matrix. Okay, and it just so happens that we learn that it's for coughing, it's for the lungs. They don't say it's for love. They don't say it's for this. They don't say it's for that. They're very specific on how it influences the physical and the energetic structure of the body, and it's one of the 4 stones in the immune enhancement combination. So it's very, very, very healthy for your lungs. And it's very healthy. Of course, what do the lungs correspond with? Sorrow. So when you use rose quartz, you're raising up and releasing that sorrow and purifying the sorrow, which in turn allows you to feel that love. So rose quartz traditionally has been associated with love because of its pinkness, because of its, and it's true, when you put it towards your heart chakra, the heart chakra and the rose quartz, they resonate together. They're in harmony. So it does strengthen the rose, it does strengthen the heart. Now, other stones that might not be so universally known and directly influencing a particular chakra, like, let's say, well, I don't know, red jasper. Red jasper has a frequency, and you can go into any, some of the stone books will probably have overlapping meanings. But what you have to remember is that because the technology isn't available for us to actually quantify and observe how the frequency of red jasper will influence the body, but the higher beings do because they have that advanced technology. So we just have to essentially go with what is known in the guidebook that we have in White Time, but also our intuition. Crystals work with us intuitively, and they also work with our cellular intelligence. And so a person who is open and aware of the influence of crystals will be guided to a red jasper if there is some sort of condition that the red jasper will address or essentially fulfill. And so when people work with different stones, because of their experience and the experience of the people they work with, they might have a different history or understanding of how red jasper, for example, would work with people. So that's what they include in the book that they write. So everyone who's written a book on crystals, primarily it's about their own experience and how they've found success working with other people. But in large part, that is through intuition and through experience. It's not really a scientific modality on this planet yet, although I'm sure people are starting to look at it scientifically and do experiments and things to quantify the reality, or to prove that red jasper, for example, in this case, we know that it works with the digestive system and the intestines. That's what the ETs tell us. So I'm hoping, it is practical, but it's, it still has that element of higher knowledge that comes in and sort of provides the foundation from which we can grow and expand our own relationship with the stones with. Because remember, everyone has a different vibration. And so a stone could interact with you differently than it does with me. And if I'm writing that book and you're writing that book, you'll have two different descriptions for its uses.
So what would somebody who was taking a Universal White Time Gemstone Healing class from you, what would they learn? How would that practically show up in their life?
Sure. The level 1 class, for example, we build something called the basic layout kit. And the basic layout is 13 different gemstones. And we learn how to harmonize them. We learn their individual properties and correspondences. And then we actually give it to each other as a gemstone treatment. And that treatment does a few things. It does a deep healing on your physical body and your energy field and your auras. But it's also a diagnostic. So you can see which stones work harder, would indicate a weakness in the organ system that they correspond with, for example. So you can actually use it to get more information of how to proceed with future treatments, or which stones to carry around in your body for a little while. The other thing is, I kind of describe it like healing by numbers, kind of like paint by numbers, because the gemstone layouts that we learn, they were created for us and they're standardized. And so we have this knowledge, and literally it's just put this stone here and this stone here and this stone here and that stone there, lay down for half an hour, receive the energy, and then you're on your way towards vitality. And so people learn those proprietary layouts of how to perform them, but they also know how to harmonize stones and how to use stones individually. But also the initiations open people up for a deeper intuitive connection to stones and crystals. And remember, this is a form of life on this planet. The mineral kingdom of life, there is consciousness, and we can connect to the consciousness of crystals. And these initiations remove blockages so that we can connect even more strongly. So what people learn, it's not so much what they learn, it's what they're given access to, so that they can build their relationship with crystals moving forward and find that they are their own master at it, in a sense, and discover new ways that they can work with stones outside of the class. So it's pretty much it opens up a door to knowledge that is then available to the individual, that's highly intuitive and specific. And so that you can start to work with crystals in any sort of number of ways outside of the class materials. There's some fun specific things like how to temporarily change the color of your aura for protection, for when you're traveling, for learning, protection against cigarette smoke, protection against sickness, all these interesting things. Oh, how to reset your aura. It's wonderful. And the practical applications are quite endless. That layout, that crystal bath to clear out your aura is fantastic for people actively going through chemo and radiation treatment, because all that stuff is in the aura. And this particular bath that you learn resets your aura to 0, so that you're not lingering in the toxicity of the treatment, as the treatment, of course, is helping to battle the cancer, whatever the situation is. But these things they do have so many different applications that can really just be integrated into a person's life. I've got a couple stones in my pockets right now because I'm doing a treatment on myself. The thing is, I mean, it's just so easy. You know, that you love the stone, you buy the stone, right? Buy the stone, love the stone, treat the stone, you have the stone forever. This stone's going to outlast me. And they always have a frequency that's constantly on. It's not like you turn it off. Like if we could see, God, my office is a whirlwind of energy, but it's a constant energetic support. And in this day and age where we're driven on coffee and addicted to stress, it's important to have these energetic support systems that you can customize to your needs. And crystals are very specific and constant. They're reliable. This stone is going to give this frequency if I'm happy, if I'm sad, if I'm in my car, if I'm on the plane, if I'm on the beach. They're very, very, very reliable. And when you use them consciously, they get so happy and they just, vibrate even more. So, yeah.
So, you mentioned that one for clearing your aura, for example, for people who are experiencing toxicity or chemotherapy or whatever. Are these, similar to holding a stone in my pocket, that a person can apply it to themselves?
The one that I mentioned, there's a specific layout called the aura clearing layout, and then there's an aura clearing bath, and there's different procedures. So the aura clearing layout requires, you can do it on yourself. It's a little tricky, but you can. It requires placement of 6 stones on 6 specific points on your body, energy centers, and that placement in those stones will reset your aura. Or there's a combination of that stone and another stone, and you can actually put them in a bathtub, and you can take a bath in with those stones, and that will reset your aura. Or you can even, if you don't have a bath, you can hold the stones in your hand above your head in the shower for 10 minutes or so, and that will also clear your aura. So that one stone, all right, spoiler alert, it's a carnelian, which is an orange-red agate. It's fine. This knowledge should be accessible to everyone. But if you carry a carnelian around, the one carnelian, it will do its job as best it can. Carnelians absorb negative energy. So you carry a carnelian around, it's in your pocket, and you go into a hostile situation, whatever it is, work-related, a line at the grocery store, where people are thinking blah, 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 crap, right? That carnelian is going to suck all that crap so it doesn't get stuck in your aura, but it only has enough of capacity, and it will suck enough energy until it actually physically cracks, which signals that it's overloaded with the negative energy. It's done its job. You kiss it and you give it back to nature. But that, more stuff is going to come on continually throughout the day. So that's not a particular stone that I would use to keep. It's not a stone to keep the aura clear. It's a stone to clear the aura. There are other stones that create shields and protections so that stuff doesn't get into your aura. And the carnelian is also applicable for clearing spaces as well. I always tell people to put carnelians in all the corners of their rooms. And I actually travel with them, and I put them on the corners of my bed so that negative poo-poos don't, disturb my sleep when I'm sleeping before vacation.
So I'm having class with you next week, and I think I am grateful for the materials you sent me to print out, because I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of information And the only way I'm going to be able to remember all of these things is that it's in the written materials.
People have, they're concerned. They're like, I can't remember all this, or I don't know anything about stones. I didn't either. There's something about the initiation and the class experience and the guides that you're assigned and something called the teacher force that's on. It's that people absorb and retain a lot more than the standard 20% of information throughout the class. With that said, I learn new things every time I teach it. It's this organic sort of unfolding or opening of information that goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and that's by design. I go back and I read my manuals constantly, and each time it's a new look because I'm approaching it at a new level of awareness. But there is a lot of opportunity to familiarize ourselves with those core stones that I mentioned from the basic kit. And I help people with tools of how to remember the stones. But still, I've got students. They text me pictures like, "What stone is this again? What's this again?" That's fine. I like the challenge to identify them. So, but it's just, yeah, there is a lot of information, but it is quite easy to assimilate. And again, your cells know it. Your body learns the vibration, and whether you're consciously able to recognize or acknowledge the information that you've learned, the information is really at the cellular level. The knowledge that that the students receive is vast, and it goes beyond the cognitive. It goes beyond the left brain. It goes beyond that. It goes deep into the soul recognition of the stones and their properties.
I'm so glad we're having this extra conversation.
I'm so excited.
Learned a ton today.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the workshop that's happening next week, knowing that if people aren't able to make it here next week, Bradford teaches this class all of the time. So it's available in multiple places in the world, in the country. He is available to teach this.
So are you referring to the online workshop on July 10th? Probably, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having an online workshop called Introduction to White-Time Gemstone Healing. And we'll talk more about that carnelian, a couple other stones, how to really open up your cellular memory of stone healing, which is very important actually. Once you sit down and you take the time to observe it, you'll always know how to feel the stone energies. And a lot of other things, and an interesting, I'm going to end it with talking about how the chakra system is evolving. And just like everything is evolving and changing vibrationally, the chakra system itself is going through transformations, and new crystals are being assigned to the new center's qualities. So the throat chakra, for example, is no longer blue. I'm not going to. You have to know what this is about. Come to this workshop, and it's online. It's from 6:30 to 9 p.m. on Zoom, and you can register for it on through my website, crystalmusichealing.com. It's $44, and I do need you to pre-register with enough time for me to ship you the little stone kit that we're going to use and work with. And I did throw in a Lemurian seed crystal, and if this is the first time you've heard Lemurian seed crystal and you're curious, I highly recommend you take this class, this workshop, because Lemurian seed crystals came in kind of from left field and took my work with crystal healing to such a deeper level. There you go. Yes. The Lemurians, do we have enough time for that? Yeah, just real quickly. Lemurian seed crystals are an earthen phenomenon. We're talking a lot about ETs and higher beings and all this knowledge that's up in the universe that is being given to us through approved teachers, such as myself. And yet, Lemurian seed crystals were formed by humans on Earth during the ancient civilization of Lemuria, and they kind of lay dormant or grew and formed, and they've emerged at this time to help us to I believe to collaborate, to co-create with the higher energies coming down. These ancient earth energies are intersecting at this present moment, and bring all of our knowledge that we've learned through our incarnations on earth as humans, and infusing it with that universal energy and rising us up to become galactic, cosmic, new humans on the new earth in this new age. And so they bring a really strong history and foundation of earth, from earth, to support us with all the higher energy, and working together, we can just rise even higher while we're grounded and rooted in the ancient history of earth as embodied by these Lemurian seed crystals. Very fun stuff.
I really recommend that everybody take that online workshop with Bradford. It's going to be amazing.
Thank you. And
a little bit about universal white, the gemstone one.
Gemstone 1? Yes, Gemstone 1. If you're in Penticton, I will squeeze you in if you want to take the class. Other than that, I do travel to teach these classes internationally, and I've been doing so for about 16 years. Level 1 is just the beginning, but it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and the initiations are very special. I have people who have had prior experience working with crystals who are so impressed because of the new way, the new relationship that they gain with their crystals. It just really augments one's previous knowledge. So I don't know what else you wanted me to say about it. It's going to be offered this Tuesday and Wednesday at White Lioness Metaphysical Store in Penticton, British Columbia. Very excited to be coming out there. Yes.
So tell people how they can get hold of you.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Again, my website is crystalmusichealing.com. That's also my Facebook page. And you can send me an email to info@crystalmusichealing.com. And I'm on YouTube. That is actually Muse of Aquarius. It's a different name, but I know branding, but that's my YouTube. And my link tree has a bunch of social media links, which is linktree, whatever it is, /Bradford Tilden. So going there, you'll be able to find all links to all of my online stuff. But send me an email.
The links will all be with the video.
What's that?
The links will all be with the video.
Oh, why, thank you. Yeah. So what I want to end is, one of my favorite stories is a woman came to one of my workshops, and I had a lot of people there, so I didn't really have one-on-one time with them. And then several years later, this woman comes running up and gives me a huge hug, and she said, "Brad, you changed my life." And I said, "Why? What did I do?" And she said, "I was in your workshop, and you told me to talk to my crystals, and I went home, and I talked to them, and Brad, they talked back." and that was it for her. She just had this new relationship with her crystals, and now she's down in Nashville right now, giving crystal healing treatments and quantum hypnosis therapy sessions to a bunch of people. She's being called to be there and to spread the knowledge of white time healing. It's a beautiful, beautiful modality, and I implore anyone who wants to help right with everything that's going on. Do research on white time healing. My website has some information, but there's more. A lot of it's in Europe, but just do a Google search for universal white time. And if it resonates, if you feel that call, you may very well be one of those higher beings, or your higher self is one of those beings that's actively working to help us all ascend. It's very exciting.
And I think a valuable message, even if somebody isn't able to take universal white time gemstone here, to talk to your crystals.
Yes. They have a lot of wisdom. People talk to trees. Trees are pretty old, but crystals, they got millions of years on the trees. Unless you're maybe going into one of the redwoods, the giant redwoods. They've got a little more wisdom than the the birch in the backyard. Anyway,
Very good. Well, thank you, Bradford. That is wonderful.
thank
So,
you.
anybody who's watching, if this is all intrigued you or interested you, I encourage you, connect with Bradford. He teaches, he does sound baths, music things, and he does individual sessions with people. So if you're interested in any of that, you will know how to reach him. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.